Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Kingdom Fundraisers Live. I am your host, Willie Peterson, and I'm really glad to be with you today. I want to let you know right now, right up front, that today's topic is personal. Not just personal to me, but actually it's personal to you as well. It's a way for us to have a conversation, literally, about how to fund your life. I've been doing a lot of conversation with individuals these last few weeks, podcast interviews and things like that. And I keep expressing the goal of really my goal, as well as Kingdom Fundraisers, our network and our academy. Our goal is to educate individuals on how to fundraise. Everybody often looks at what I do as a grant writer, but I teach and I coach fundraising. So today I want to kind of bring it home and kind of make it personal as I'm talking to everybody about how to fund your life. You know, a lot of us in the nonprofit world specifically, we look at how to raise money. How about those of us in the church? I've got an outline of how to do church fundraising, and then specifically how to not just look at a vacation Bible school, but how to make that a summer program that is fundable, or some of the things that activities we do in church and how to make those activities fundable. And so I'm talking about fundraising your family, or sending your kids to college, or planning for retirement, helping your church, starting a nonprofit, and more than that, leaving a legacy. And sometimes we get into the fundraising mode. Many of you all that I talk to on a regular basis, we get in a fundraising mode, and all we get so stuck on, those things. But guess what? Even in the fundraising mode, I've learned one thing about being in the fundraising mode, that oftentimes we're looking to raise funds for our own salaries. Come on, somebody. I just finished working with an organization, and we went through this grant process review the other day. But in the initial overall grant process, it helped fund the executive director's program, but it also gave her a salary. And so when we look at the overall fundraising idea, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, no matter where you are in the world, we want to have a conversation about how to fund your life. I want to welcome my brother, always Mark Miller. Mark, he's here with us today. TGIFF. That stands for Thank God It's Faith Friday. For those of you all don't know, Brother Mark and I started this maybe 4 years ago, somewhere around there. It's been a while now. And it began as on Fridays at 12 noon, Faith Fridays, a podcast. But God He's brought us to this evolution of the Kingdom Fundraisers Live each and every Friday at noon. And so I'm glad to always have him here with me. Don't forget to go to our website. You can get the information at WIllie Inc. You can contact me there. You can make an official opportunity to meet with me, 30 minutes, and let's have a conversation about your organization. And now, how to fund your life. What do we need to do to help coach you through that? Our new academy and information for the academy will show you how to be certified in many things, whether it's at church, legacies, and healthcare field. We're there now where we can provide those things for you. If you're looking to connect to me and not really sure how, go to my social media link, which is linktree/Pastor Willie. You can log on to all of the social media pages, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of them. That my direct contact information is right there. But again, if you go to WIllie Inc. / and connect for our Calendly, where you can get a discovery session with me direct and have a conversation about how to fund your life, how to fund your mission, how to fund your church, how to fund your nonprofit, how to fund your for-profit, how to fund your life. I want to say, Mark, great post yesterday. That video was awesome. Really what gave me the mindset to focus on this today, because people DM me sometime personally or text me personally, and they make a comment about those videos. And if you all have not view those videos, go to my Facebook page. And on the Facebook page, you can see some of the posts that we post weekly and daily, both for the 1 minute prayer and for the Kingdom Fundraisers specifically, on how to encourage you to be all that God has called you to do and to be and to do those things that you have a vision to do. So, I, you know, 30 minutes moves pretty fast. I kind of want to just, if I can, if y'all don't mind, let me take a minute to just really get into this fundraising idea for you guys about funding your life, because, let me ask this simple question. Have you ever wondered how you're going to pay for everything in your life? Vacations. One of the things that we were doing in several of our programs, we were trying to have a lifestyle that allowed us to be able to work on a boat or work on vacation, a luxury lifestyle. And when I say luxury, I don't mean $1 million lifestyle. Many people pursue those goals, and that's okay if that's what you want. But I want to be able to live comfortably, not just paycheck to paycheck. Come on, somebody, because many of us do live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm trying to find a way to help you fund your life so that the things that God has called you to, the things that you're in your heart to do, those things that you have a passion for, that you're able to fund them and find ways to get them done. Let me ask another question for those of you all that might be the next generation fundraisers of what I call. You may be young and you're in college or on your way to college, because this is graduation time for a lot of individuals who are on their way to college. And if your parents or grandparents and you're hearing this, talk to your children, let them hear this. What do you do when you get to college and you find out maybe you're not a good fit for it and you drop out? I did that. What do you do if you go to college and you're fortunate enough to go through the years at college? But guess what? While in college, you find out in your last semester or your last year of college that there's not enough funding or grant money, or in today's society here in the U.S., funding for things like that is being diminished. So you may not be able to get enough money to cover your whole 4 year or 6 years in college. And I say 6 years because sometimes our programs take a little bit longer, or we go part-time because we got to go to work. Why? We're funding our life. Hello. And so you go to school, you go to college, and you find out that your last year or last semester, and that happened while I was teaching college in the college sector, that many of our students in that last semester ready to go get their bachelor's or master's did not have enough money to fund that last semester. So they had to figure out, guess what, how to fund their life. And so I asked that question to you. What do you do when that happens? Well, what about, I got one more scenario for you. What do you do when you finish college and you get that great degree that you've been working on for the last 4 to 6 years, for your 4 years in your bachelor's, your extra 2.5, 2 or 3 years, whatever, in your master's program, and you complete that goal and you go looking for work and the work is not there. Companies are downsizing because what? Funding for the finance and funding and the cost of survival is much higher. So what do you do now when you finish all of that and your dream is to go get that dream job and that dream job is no longer there? How do you fund your life? And so that's what we want to make sure we're doing. We're not just talking about everyday, we actually are talking about, how to pay for everyday life. Not just talking about your bills. I'm talking about raising your family, as I said, sending your kids to college, for those of us that are older, grandkids, even helping them, paying for retirement, helping your church out, paying tithes. Hello, I'm a pastor, paying tithes and offerings. And then, those programs, those things that come up, pastor's anniversary, church anniversary, program anniversary, dinners, and all this extra stuff that come up that they need money for. How do you fund all of that in the budget that you have to live? How about those of us that have a vision to start a business, whether it's a for-profit LLC or bigger? How about a nonprofit organization, because you have a heart to serve your community? And then at the end of the day, how about finding a way to leave a legacy? We all have dreams and we all have responsibilities, and we have to figure out how we're going to fund those visions. That's why I call this episode Funding Your Life. because let's be honest, it's not just nonprofits that need funding. You do. Are you with me? Yeah, so I'm trying to be to show you some things here that I believe um, that's really going to bless you and to help you. I want to show you how to fund your whole life, not just a single project. My mission is to give you the tools to pay for everything that matters to you, your family, your kids, your education. Are you with me? We can do that, and we can do that together. And so that's what this episode really is all about, y'all, is to get you to where you need to be able to do those things that you believe God has called you to do. Uh-oh. I hit my computer and I almost feel like I lost y'all. And when you're on the flow and stuff like that happen, it sure ain't good, is it? Well, that's all right. I'll be with you in just a second. Work with me now. Work with me now. That is, I hate that. I hate that one. I hate that. There we go. I found you. There we go. I'm sorry. Listen. What is funding for life? Let's make these episodes. Let's break them down a little bit, Brother Mark. What is funding for life? Most people hear funding and they think of bake sales and grant writing. But funding for life is bigger than that. It's a mindset, it's a lifestyle, and it's about learning the tools and strategies that you need to cover the cost of life that you feel that you're called to live. No matter what field that you want to work in, whether it's you have a trade, you have a skill, or you want to be a doctor, lawyer, or Indian chief, whatever it is, how do we find the tools and strategies that we need to cover the cost of those things that we want to do? Whether you're building a business, starting a ministry, saving for your kids' future, just trying to break free from financial stress. This is what this message is for you. I'm trying to really encourage you today. So the problem in many cases is there's no plan and there's no progress. That too many people are out here dreaming, but not funding those small dreams. When I talk to nonprofits and they have these big visions, I say to them, let's take one step at a time. Take small bites. Find ways to fund your vision through $5, $10, $2,000 grants than one $10,000 grant when you don't have a history or a background in organizations, and especially when you look at the good old boy network. Organizations are getting money that are already doing what you've been wanting to do for these years. So there are smaller ways to accomplish that. So too many are out here dreaming big, but funding small. I'm going to say that again. There are too many of us out here. We're dreaming big, but we're funding small. We work hard, we pray hard, but we don't have the financial strategies that we need. We say, well, we trust God, and we do. I know we do, because I know I do. But even Joseph had a plan to feed the nations during the famine. Come on, somebody. We trust God, and I know you do. But even Joseph had a plan to feed the nation during the famine. I got to put some scripture up in there. Here's what I've learned. If you don't have a plan for how you're going to fund your life, the lack of funding will limit your life. I told you this one is more personal to everybody today. So let's make a shift. Let's make a shift from struggling to strategizing. Let's make a shift from struggling to strategizing. Are you with me? What if I told you the same strategies that I teach to nonprofits to get funding, I also use for everyday life? Are you hearing me? What if the same strategies that I teach nonprofits to get funding, I also use for everyday life? Here they go. Let me give you these points, 5 of them. Identify your goals. Create a funding plan. Building relationships with supporters. Writing your vision plainly and clearly. The scripture says in Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain, so that those that read it can follow it. And that includes yourself. You ever heard anybody say put posters put pictures and Post-it notes on your refrigerator or something on your mirror, somewhere visual. So when you see them, it encourages you to keep pressing on. Because sometimes things get in the way, roadblocks, hurdles, potholes, and sometimes we get discouraged. Praying with my granddaughter because she's got a pothole right now. And I'm praying that she does not get discouraged and that she continues to have faith and find peace in the decisions that she makes. I want to give you all that. That's not one of my notes, but I want to also say when you're building relationships and supporters and you're writing down your funding plan and identifying goals, you need to seek peace in your plan. I'm going to remember that one for myself. Seek peace in your plan. Write your vision and make it plain so that you can follow it. And others that support you, when you explain what you're trying to do, they'll support you. We just launched WIllie Academy, where we're Kingdom Fundraisers Academy, and Ella's healthcare program was all linked into the WIllie Academy. And we began to write it out. We spelled it out. And right now she's sharing that vision with family members so that people can, in all reality, buy into it. But what we had to do was we had to write the vision and make it plain so that those family members that she's dialoguing with it, they can see it, read it, and follow it and support it. That's what we're talking about doing. I'm not telling you to do something that we don't do. And yeah, learn how to assess grants, scholarships, sponsorships, and resources most people don't even know that exist. Now that's where I come in. Hello, helping you fundraise your life. There are things out there that support. I have a program that I introduced for a friend of mine. I'm going to call him out, Kareem, yesterday. And there's several of you all that I will be sharing that with you, ways that we can have passive income for free, not to do anything for it. You're interested in that project, make sure you DM me and say, what were you talking about on today's May 30th program, free program that will help fund your life? Yeah. We have several of them. There are partnerships, there are relationships, there are sponsorships that are out there that can help you fund your life. And a lot of those are passive that will earn you money when you sleep. So you deserve more than just survival. I want you to hear me clearly now. You're not just created to survive. Let me repeat that. You're not created to just survive. You were created to thrive. And in your purpose, in your calling, in your finances, and in your future. Are you with me? Am I speaking to anybody specific today? The lack of funding will limit your life. Shift from struggle to strategy. And the way, as I said earlier, we do that. We do that by having set strategies. I want to repeat those strategies for you again today. And again, these are things that I do myself. I just gave you an example of what Ella and I are doing as we branch this WIllie Academy. And I call it an academy now. WIllie Inc. has always been providing counseling and coaching to people. But now we have a legitimate certificate opportunities in fundraising through our life coach program. Both of us are certified life coaches, both of us. We both have degrees in education. Mine is in social work and hers is in specific education. I have a master's degree in leadership and in management. And my focus is nonprofit management. But there are funds opportunities to help you fund your life, not just your vision. And I don't know about you, but saving for vacation is a part of fundraising. Ella and I used to have this big jar, you know, those drinking jars, those big jars with the water cooler. We had one and we didn't bring it with us. We still have one in Ohio. It's got money in it in our storage. Y'all can't get to it. Watch this. Every day when we were carrying cash, now we use cards. But when we used to carry cash every day, we go to the store and when we get our change, We dropped that change in that big jar. And believe it or not, every year we would have $2,000 or $3,000 in that jar that helped us fund our vacations. Yes, that's called fundraising. There are things in your life, in your mind, in your heart, in your surrounding that you can do to fundraise goals. How about there's a set of children that are not far from where we are right now. Most every weekend they're outside with Kool-Aid in cups. Why? Because there's something they're trying to fundraise for. The baseball team, the football teams, during their season, before the season starts, what do? They have booths outside or they do car washes. Why? Because they're doing fundraising for something that they want to achieve. The same effect should happen to you and for you. Write the vision, make it plain, and follow it. So identify your goals, number one. Number two, create a fundraising plan. And you do that by writing that vision so you can make it plain. Then build relationships with your supporters. There are people in your inner circle. There are people on the outer circle. And there are people in arm's reach that will support you if you have a vision that's clear. Write it, make it plain. And yes, learn how to access the funding opportunities that's out there. And if you don't know where to go, DM me, write me, connect to my Facebook page so that I can help you do that, because you deserve to survive. Strive, not you deserve to survive. I get caught up, not just strive. You just survive. You deserve to strive, not survive. Thank you for my correction. So I want you to hear me clearly. Once again, you're not created to survive. You're created to strive. You were created to thrive. You were created to thrive in your purpose, to thrive in your calling, to thrive in your finance, to thrive in your future. And you just need the right knowledge. You need the right tools. And sometimes you need the right coach. And that's what I'm here to help you do. All right. So if you ever ask, how am I going to fund my vision? How am I going to help my children or my church or my future or myself? Or even just, Lord, how will I make ends meet this year? Then it's time for you to learn how to fund your life. So let's talk about your goals. Let's build a custom plan. And let's walk this journey together. Book a personal session with me. Do it today. Go to WePete Inc. Go to my Canley section and book a time with me so that we can turn your vision and we can turn it into victory. Are you with me? Don't forget, connect with me. Let me post that one more time so that you know how to connect to me. Right there. Go right there or right here. Connect to me so that we can work together to bring your vision to life. I appreciate you guys giving me your time. I appreciate listening to me. Listen, this is important and it is personal. Oftentimes I'm talking about fundraising, and today I gave you the same type of call to action that I do at any other time. If you can do it yourself, go for it. There are a lot of you out there that have the wisdom and already have all of those tools around you. Go for it. But if you want some help, some guidance, I'm your coach. I will help you get there. So DM me, Facebook me, YouTube me. It doesn't matter how you find me. Go to my page. Let's talk. Book a session with me so we can get you started. Thanks for joining me today. Love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I look forward to talking to you again soon.